Yeah. How you guys doing? I haven't gone live in a while. Neither done Talk Di Tings in a while. And I'm not going to stay a while. So, as you can tell from the title, Taco Plus. So, taco, of course, means Trump Always Chickens Out. So, let's start there. Hello, natural juice bar. Yeah, so taco. Today's Taco Tuesday. This morning, the madman decided to scare everybody in the world and tell them how he's going to obliterate or remove a whole civilization. I don't think he knows what the word civilization means. But anyway, sorry. That was the Truth Social post. Had everybody freed, stressed out. People who have family in Iran worried. People on the ground in Iran worried. There were reports that people were making human chain links on bridges and around power plants. Saw a lot of images. I don't know if they're AI. I don't know if they're real. I'm not on the ground for a country that has been throttling or removing internet access. I don't know. I can't verify everything that comes out of Iran. Anyway, by this evening, late this evening, just before the deadline, I would say, close to the deadline, he decides to say, oh, we've come to an agreement. There's going to be 2 weeks of ceasefire. Says a bunch of things about how, basically taking credit, because that's what he does. He rules by chaos and then takes credit. So he was taking credit, saying how it was his idea, to follow this plan. For those who don't know, it wasn't his idea. The ceasefire was brokered by Pakistan. They were lead on this. Iran representatives were saying they were confused about this escalation that he did this morning. And they presented them with, I think it was a 7-point plan. This is Iran's presentation. 7-point plan to try to resolve some of the issues. So we'll see. Something to talk about. Blessings to you too. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But needless to say, you can't listen to the orange guy. You can't listen to the orange guy. He rules by chaos. A lot of people like to talk about his book, The Art of the Deal. I wish humans would learn that he doesn't make deals. He's not that smart. He's never made deals. He has, over the years, he's had some sensible people that work with him to make some of the deals. But the other thing he does is he rules by chaos. So coming to a deal table with him is coming to chaos. He will literally say, I'm going to give you this, and then he pulls it back, and then he gives it again, and then he pulls it back. He's that guy. So I wasn't even slightly worried this morning when I saw how unhinged his tweets were. I said, this isn't going anywhere. People are going to call him, sensible people are going to call him and tell him that he is literally declaring an act of war. And he's literally breaching rules of engagement. And he's literally declaring things that he can be called up to The Hague for. Like everything he's said since this war are questionable at best, questionable at least, and war crimes at best. So I know somebody would have said something to him. Somebody would have linked him and say, yeah, stop the foolishness, shut it down. So Pakistan brokered this supposed ceasefire that supposedly will last for 2 weeks. Supposedly. We'll see how it goes. This hinges on the Strait of Hormuz being open to everybody. In case you haven't been keeping up, the Strait of Hormuz isn't fully closed. What has been happening is actually something that Taco And if you're just joining me, taco means Trump always chickens out. Taco has been missing all along. By his acts of violence, he has actually been empowering Iran. So, short story, the currency of oil has been American dollars. That has always been the currency of oil. It is actually why people will tell you things like the US has the greatest economy, then the US has the strongest dollar. It is because the currency used to transact in oil. Many years ago, not too many years ago, it was decided that the currency would be American dollars. What has happened? Since stupid Taco and his stupid team did not secure the Strait of Hormuz, which every military guy, every military hero, every military strategist says, of all the things they should have done when they went in, they should have secured the Strait of Hormuz first. Right? So they didn't secure the Strait of Hormuz. No problem. What ends up happening is Iran controls the flow. Because Iran has set itself up to control the flow. And so what was Iran doing the last few weeks? They were charging they were charging Chinese yen. One. Y-U-A-N. I don't remember how you pronounce it. They were charging that for entry through the Strait of Hormuz. So, if that is allowed to continue, they, by global demand, by global usage, because the Strait of Hormuz, they said, is responsible for 25% of global traffic. Not just oil goes through there, seeds go through there, other imports go through there, but about 25% of global traffic. So if they were able to shift the currency of trading oil to Chinese yen, what do you think happens to the American dollar? Just take a lucky guess, because, I like to simplify things. I like to simplify things so everybody can understand. Don't think I don't know the complex terms and the complex concepts. I just like to simplify things because I find that everybody kind of look like them to understand what's going on in their world and we want to understand. If Iran had been successful in controlling the flow of oil and shifting the currency used to trade oil, the American dollar will devalue. Well, further devalue, because it is already devaluing. So you see, by default, what he has been doing, by default, the orange guy has been destabilizing his country. Big America. He's been destabilizing his country by many actions that he has done in the last how much months he's been in power. We can't keep up. I feel like it's been 500 years. Apparently, it's not even 2 years yet. Right? So by default, he has been destabilizing his country and continues to do so. Gas prices through the roof. In Canada, we were doing the math recently, me and my cousin, and we found out that we're actually paying more than them in Canada. Right? Gas prices now in many states has hit the $5 mark per gallon. The $5 mark per gallon. Do you understand what that means? To hit the $5 mark. In Canada, we're at $1.84. In Toronto, I don't know other places, but in Toronto, we're hovering in the 180s per liter. And threats of it becoming $2 per liter soon. Right? So, destabilizing economies, right, that's his MO. When Taco is done with America, I don't know if they're going to be able to clean it up. to be honest. I think it's going to take years to recover from him. It's going to take years to recover from his economy, the disaster of an economy that he's leaving behind. It's going to take years to recover from the dismantling of democracy, because that's what he's also doing. Hello, Scott Fusion CA. Hi, Norma. Right? The destabilizing that he's been doing has ripple effects. I think it's going to take years for farmers in America to recover. Reports are that last year was about 25% of farmers went bankrupt in America. Because thanks to tariffs, not only aren't they able to get stuff in there, it's hard to get stuff out. Thanks to immigration rules and this heavy investment in ice, many of the farms cannot find the cheap labor that they have been relying on for years to reap their crops. In fact, if you're on TikTok, just type in American farmers crying or American farmers worried about their future. Type in anything about American farmers and you will see American farmers literally bawling for the losses that they're experiencing right now. Right? I saw a guy, he said he had about $700,000 worth of crops to reap. And if he did not reap it in time for February, he would be out of business, because he had an order to fill, and he had absolutely nobody on his farm to reap, because he said even if they have paperwork, they were hiding from ICE because ICE was raiding farms. Yeah, man. That's Tacofono. That's what the president had over there. So I think it will take years for farmers to recover. Years for farmers who, if they manage to stay in business, years for them to recover. Understand? Democracy, like the idea of democracy in America, will need to be revisited. Because one semi-literate guy, has been executing Project 2025 to the hilt. And in that Project 2025, they have covered almost every base, including the anti-DEI stance, where literally last year, right off the bat, 300,000 black women were let go from the government. 300,000 black women were let go from the government. Just 2 weeks ago, Pete Hegseth has denied promotions for black officers in the military. They've been trying to erase history. You can't erase history, but they've been trying to erase monuments to history. They've taken down plaques. They've ordered museums that have government funding not to focus on anything that is black. They've been pushing forward an agenda to block books. Like the recovery that will have to happen in America after this guy, I'm telling you, you're looking at years to come. Years to come. And I'm exhausted by him. He's a source of stress for me. But it's not really him that stresses me out. It's the people who continue to support him blindly, even while their own interests are being hurt. But they chose him on the basis of MAGA will rise. They chose him on the basis of Blacks stay back. They chose him on the basis of we're going to retake the country that they felt like they were losing. They chose him on that basis. And for them, that conviction in their heart is greater than the oil prices, the grocery prices, the unemployment. It is greater for them, you know. Them a go eat racism. Them a go swallow racism. Them a go belch racism. It is greater for them than their own life. That stuff, we used to study that stuff in university, you know. We used to study crowd mentality. We used to study cults and occults and like that stuff is some serious mind game shit. And that's what he's good at. Like, as I always call him semi-literate and dunce, but he's very good at marketing. So he's very good at, being able to appeal to the common man. He started that by his persona on The Apprentice. That's how he got most of these voters that he has now. Is The Apprentice. You're fired. He knows the power of using monosyllabic words. He knows the power of using quick turn of phrase. He knows that power because he's semi-literate, so he don't have no big words in his vocabulary. He can't even pronounce some people's name. If you ever put Tchaikovsky in front of him, dead. Right? But he has been able to tap into that. And now the rest of us, the rest of the world, the rest of America who didn't vote for him has to suffer through it. And I'm telling you, it's going to take years to recover. So, did I get any surprises today that he pulled back from annihilating a civilization? No, I would never expect him to do it. Never expect him to do it. It's just bluster. He does this stuff. He does this chaos, creates chaos, get everybody frenzied, get everybody anxious. And then he thinks that that will impact the actual negotiating table. But coming away from the table, guess whose negotiations won? Iran. Iran's points that they asked for is what is being executed right now. And for the next 2 weeks, we will see how he handles it. I expect that by the weekend he'll have another outburst and say they're not living up to the deal, and then he needs another deal, and take us on this chaos pathway again. I'm not doing it with him again, I'm getting on my nerves. Right? Soca Kingdom North, hello. Right? I can't keep doing this. Like, he is a source of stress, him giving me indigestion. And I don't even live in America. So suppose I did live in America, I'd have dead. I'd have literally dead. I don't know how some people can ignore the news. I don't know how people. I want that gift. I want that gift to ignore life. I want that gift to just ignore what's going on around you. Would I like to know how you do that? And I love that gift. To ignore people, ignore hurt, ignore what's going on in the world. How want to do it? Somebody teach me the ways. Teach me your ways, master. I'd love to learn. Because otherwise I'm stressed. Anyway, I'm not spending long on him because everything he does is predictable. As I said, Taco Tuesday. Trump always chickens out. Bluster, bluster, bluster. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Joker. Other thing I want to talk about. Quickly. I have not addressed this on my radio show or anything else because I try not to mention this guy. You guys call him Ye. He was Kanye West. He signs his things now saying formerly Kanye. So he was booked for Wireless Festival. And today it was announced that the Wireless Festival is being cancelled. Not that he's being replaced as a headliner, but the entire festival cancelled. Why is the festival being cancelled? Well, over the past week, we have seen all major sponsors jump ship on Wireless Festival. Pepsi has jumped. different beer brands that they had. Then we saw politicians coming out, British politicians coming out and saying, this shouldn't happen. So the mayor first of London said something. And then Starmer, the Prime Minister of England, said something. And then today, the big stunt, they pulled his travel. I don't know if them revoke him visa, work permit, what, but they pulled it. So he will not be allowed into the UK. Imagine. He will not be allowed into the UK. So now, Wireless Festival, right? Big thing, them cancel the whole festival. He was a headliner. He wasn't the whole festival. How you cancel the whole festival? Well, when you lose all your sponsors and now you lose your headliner, where the money will come from? A lot of people probably were buying tickets to see the madman perform. You know what I mean? So, that's the big news in entertainment. Now, the lead up to this news is what perturbs me. So here is the thing. Kanye, Yeezy, whatever you want to call him. He has been getting away with a lot of you guys calling him a genius. You guys call him a musical genius. And in him being called a musical genius, whenever he's acted out, you then say it's because he has mental health issues, but he's still a genius. So now I'm wondering, is he an idiot savant? Like, what one call him? One call him? One go back in time and use some old terms that we used to use for people? What is this? So, over time, he has said some egregious stuff. He's being punished right now on the basis of his anti-Semitic language and use of imagery. I believe he used a swastika on one of his album covers during this time where you guys were still calling him a genius, but also saying him have mental health issues, but also saying he's a genius, but also say he's misunderstood, but also said he was pushing the envelope, but also said he may have been speaking some truth. Like, I can't keep up with no black people. I don't know what to want. In that time that he was being anti-Semitic, he was also being anti-black. But uno no have a problem with that part there. Right? So when he was mocking slavery and denying slavery, uno no have a problem with that part there. When he deliberately wore a shirt that said white lives matter as an affront to black lives matter, uno never have no problem with him. Right? But now, uno kind of iffy because everybody jumping on the anti-Semitic thing. Interesting. All I have to say is interesting. Kanye would never get my money, but my money no matter to Kanye, right? I'm one ticket. He had a 2-night stint in the Sophie Arena in, I think it's Los Angeles that this arena is. $33 million he earned from those 2 nights. $33 million he earned from those 2 nights. So that says to me that a bunch of you okay with him anti-blackness and him anti-Semitism. Right? And you guys have told yourself something. You told yourself is either that him did off him meds or that he's such a musical genius that we have to ignore the egregious. He's so genius, we have to ignore the other stuff. Oh no, wild. You guys are wild. So, I don't feel any way about his thing being cancelled because I wasn't planning to go. So I neither feel happy nor sad for him. All I can tell you is he will continue to make money because in 2 nights he made $33 million. In 2 nights. And I saw all the celebs come out and him bring out big names. Him bring out Lauryn Hill, him bring out CeeLo, him bring out Erykah Badu, him bring out YG Marley. And so all of those people who performed with him, a couple people online were like, should we cancel them like how we're trying to cancel Ye? But you guys are non-committal. I notice on a non-committal. So you see, for me though, let me say for me. You see, for me, you see, if you are MAGA, I don't like you. I'm not dealing with you. I'm not supporting you. If I know you're MAGA, I'm not spending my money with you. Let me tell you how far I go. I do personal boycotts. There are stores I don't spend money in because them did give how much millions of dollars to a certain orange man. Yeah. My money no matter, you know. My money is a little bit of money. But I would like to think that if the semi-dunce man can rule the world, my little money and your little money and other people's little money can't add up. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. So you see Kanye? Kanye is MAGA. As far as I'm concerned, until him can prove to me, say him a MAGA, him a MAGA. You see, from him a MAGA, he's not mine. He's kinfolk that is not my kinfolk. Right? That's where I sit. That's where I sit. I don't care if you're doing things to inflame and get attention. Why are you getting attention with hate? Why is your option for attention? You remember them tell you say you are musical genius, you know. So why you can't get attention from some musical genius shit? Why your attention have to come from hate? Right? Why that is your route? I don't play that. So him not get dollar from me. And to be honest, if I'm to be truly honest, I don't think I purchased his music since College Dropout. If I'm to be honest. So I wasn't really a fan. Was never a fan. You know what I mean? I'm not a hip hop head anyway, but I like good music, I like good lyrics. I can listen to almost any genre. Ask anybody. I can tell you about some Megadeth songs that I love. You know about Megadeth? Yeah, man. I'm a lover of music. Right? Good music, good lyrics. You can catch me with lyrics. Yeah? So I haven't really paid him much mind since College Dropout. One or two songs that went popular. Maybe I heard them, maybe I bopped my head, but so him would never get my money, even if him never anti-Semitic and anti-black. But you see, like when I'm anti-Semitic and anti-black, I don't even want to give him prayers. Not even prayers for him. But I'm watching you guys. And I'm realizing why we can't have revolutions anymore. I'm realizing is that what we thought were principles and standards, you guys don't care about that anymore. Yeah, you don't care about that anymore. Entertainment is what you care about. You care about fluff. You care about clout chasing. You care about hype. You know what I mean? You decide if I'm talking to you. But this is why we can't get anywhere. Right? Because what we see, some of us see, you don't even feel. You don't even see. You don't even have an inkling. What we see as problematic, what we see as blatantly racist, you go, oh, meh. What we see as blatantly anti-Semitic, you're like, What we see as dangerous to women and children, you're like, You know what I mean? What we see as dangerously patriarchal, dangerously ageist, dangerously sexist and chauvinistic, meh. We can't get better. So that's why I don't go live for long anymore, because I realize that we're in a different era now. We're in a Taps and Roses era. You know, where things that you would want to be important are not taken as important. And I get it. Like, you know, everybody trying to make a buck. Trying to keep the buck that they do have in their pocket. But it's actually disheartening to see where we are as a world, you know? So you guys continue to entertain yourselves with the racists and demigods. And I will continue to try to manage my stress levels. Because it is very stressful to walk among you. You know? It's very stressful to walk among you. To know that at any turn, should they want a return to slavery, someone would have sell me. You understand? You understand the level of stress I walk with? So I can't trust you, no? I cannot trust you guys with my life. That's the level of stress I walk with. That's the level of stress that gives me insomnia sometimes. Is to think that people, you know, they vote against their best interest, or they're anti-vote and have no alternative to offer us. We don't even start talking about those people yet, you know. Coming closer to November, I'm going to talk about those people. The people who tell you don't vote for anybody because everybody is bad, but they don't give you an alternative to the vote. So you're going to sit on your hands, and guess what? Anybody who is bad will still get into power and still exact punishment on us and still enact bills and still change laws and still enforce budget cuts. You know what I mean? You're a wild bunch, man. Me see the people that make an orbit around the moon, you know. So I'm wondering if that is where we should be looking, you know. Can we get out of here? Because Earth is the ghetto. I have no interest in this place. It's that dumpster fire, constant dumpster fire ghetto. The whole Earth. So maybe, you know, the moon have some extra craters that they were naming recently. So maybe there's hope out there. You know, because it ain't this. This is for the birds. Yeah? Anyway, have a good night. And remember, Trump always chickens out. Don't get caught up in his chaos. I saw him ruled by chaos. Him not have no order. But it's going nowhere. Anyway, take care. Have a good night.